The Scotsman, Neil Mackenzie. So now let's join the riders on the grid. Wayne Gardner in pole position, the likeable Australian, the World Championship leader, who won in West Germany, who won in Holland, and is leading the championship by a clear 18 points. Well, there is the enormously successful Randy Mamola, and he's won this year's Japanese Grand Prix. He's had 3 second places. He's second in the World Championship. He has won the British Grand Prix twice already, and he is very, very relaxed and confident. There are the eyes of Eddie Lawson, third in the World Championship. He is a bit demoralised because of the success of Wayne Gardner. So the front rank of the grid, left, number 2, Wayne Gardner, pole position. Alongside him, number 1, world champion Eddie Lawson. Alongside him, number 3, behind the man with the red flag, Randy Mamola, double Grand Prix winner. Alongside him, number 11, Neil Mackenzie, the Scotsman in his first full year as a works rider. Completing the front rank on the blue Yamaha X250 world champion Christian Saron. On the left of the grid, on the second row, number 9 is the distinctive black Honda. There he is, of Rocket Ron Haslam. Then alongside him is Rob McElhenney and Freddie Spencer, number 19, making it. There he is in the centre of your picture now. And then Didier de Rodriguez on the leading European machine, number 7, the Belgian on the Cagiva, the Italian Cagiva. The red light is on, and it's go, and Rocket Ron is up alongside Wayne Gardner. It's a superb start for the Englishman, and as they peel off into the right-hander at Redgate and go soaring through, it looks as though everybody is well away. Rob McElhenney has made up a few places. Now it is the fast, tremendously quick sweep down to the Craner curves, and they're doing about 145 miles an hour from a standing start as they go through here, and it's Spencer, Freddie Spencer, back in Grand Prix racing, who is leading. Has past Freddie been sandbagging all the time? Has he got his racing sharpness back again? This is an absolutely sensational development right at the start of the British Grand Prix, something that not even his enthusiastic followers would have believed possible. There's McElhenney streaming through, and so Spencer on the Honda, followed by world champion Eddie Lawson. There is Randy Mamola on the Yamaha, going through in about 4th position. But just look at the pace of 3 times world champion. Down to the S's they come for the first time. Second gear, about 75 miles an hour, and Haslam is in second position. Haslam has moved up into second position ahead of Lawson. Great stuff. There is Ron. Very distinctive, his riding style. He sort of hunches over on the right-hand side of the machine. Number 1 is Lawson. Wayne Gardner is in 4th position as they go round the Melbourne hairpin for the first time in this 30-lap race. Neil Mackenzie is behind him, and there is the leader, 25-year-old Freddie Spencer from Shreveport. That is Neil Mackenzie on the Works Honda. Out of the left, and it's Spencer, Haslam, Lawson, Gardner. Didier de Rodriguez is in 5th position, and in 6th place is Neil Mackenzie and Barry Sheen. What a sensational start for Freddie Spencer.
Well, yeah, it certainly took everybody by surprise. The best thing...
Neil Mackenzie, and there they are, in one big surging lump around Redgate.
Yeah, we should see some interesting racing between Gardner and Lawson, because I think there's a little bit of needle there, and it should be... I've noticed that Eddie's closing the door a bit on Gardner, not unfairly so we...
Lawson to second place. Eddie Lawson to second place, and you are absolutely right, Barry, because he's had injuries in the past to contend with. He's recovered from them magnificently, and he is very much in the hunt. In fact, Christian Saron has just put up the fastest lap of the race. He has gone round in 1 minute 39.91, and that is a speed of 90.08 miles an hour. That's in race trim. Now, look at Roger Burnett, the young Englishman, approaching half distance now. We're on lap 12, half distance is lap 15, and you can see how close the battle is. As Mamola now is right up with Wayne Gardner, but seemingly quite content to stay where he is.
I think he might just be, by the looks of it, he's just having a look to see the braking style of Wayne and just to see where he can nip through. And the best thing in racing, if you can nip through on a surprise place, and you take somebody really by surprise, it's much easier to pull out. Oh, tyres getting a little bit on the hot side.
Yes, you sound quite dispassionate about it. I find it absolutely heart-stopping. And Christian Saron closed up about half a machine's length there. And there's Freddie's
rear wheel locks. I don't know, the engine could have temporarily seized.
And Randy Mamola is now up into second place. The man who was 8th on the first lap, 7th on the second lap, 5th on the 4th lap, and he stayed there until lap 9 when he moved up to 4th position. Lap 10 he was 3rd. He stayed there and he's now in 2nd position. Randy Mamola is the challenger.
He should have had a little sign on the back then saying, "It's dry, Wayne." I think that'll weigh on Wayne up a bit.
Yes, the point of that remark being that Randy Mamola's 2 Grand Prix victories this year have both been in very wet races. 39.61, 90. And that is the battle for 7th position, currently held by Roger Burnett. Here he goes on the last year's V4 Honda, and Wayne Gardner said of this machine, I learned so much from mastering it that this year's Honda seems easy to ride, and I expect the same will apply to Roger Burnett when he gets onto a better machine in 1988.
Well, that's it. You know, Roger said that he's a real handful to ride. You know, it doesn't... he rode my bike once and said how good it handled, and in comparison to that, you can see it rigging.
We're only 7th and 8th now. Here is the leader, Eddie Lawson. Well, Les Mamola has got a lot in reserve. It looks as though Steady Eddie is in a good position to win again this year, and that would be for the 3rd time. There is Christian Sarron on the V4 Yamaha, 4th in the race. Lawson, the leader. Now look for Mamola. There's the gap. Not nearly as much of a gap between Mamola 2nd and Gardner 3rd as there is between race leader number 1, Eddie Lawson, and Randy Mamola number 3 in the background, who is 2nd. And Sarron still there in 5th position. Ronnie Haslam in 6th place. Strong machine, which is effectively pulled out of racing, suddenly got his break when this time last year, number 11 there, Neil Mackenzie, got the opportunity to ride a works Suzuki in the British Grand Prix, and he rode so well that he was snapped up by Honda to accompany Freddie Spencer this year, and here he is. There is Lawson, and Wayne Gardner now back into 2nd position. Number 14 out of the race, Gustav Reiner, the West German rider on a 3-cylinder Honda. The gap now is 1.3 seconds, so Wayne Gardner has halved the lead of Eddie Lawson in 1 lap, primarily due to his superior luck in getting past the tail enders, I suspect.
Oh yeah, that's pretty true, but obviously Wayne's pressing on a bit now, so it's a little bit of both.
Although, interestingly, Randy Mamola still holds the fastest lap, 1 minute 39.6, 90.35 miles an hour. Eddie Lawson Yamaha leads Wayne Gardner Honda. 3rd is Randy Mamola Yamaha. In 4th position, it's Christian Sarron Yamaha. In 5th position, it's Neil Mackenzie Honda. And in 6th place, it's Ron Haslam on the Honda. This is Randy Mamola, who is in 3rd place, number 3. Top his corner.
I would say that Randy's having a bit of trouble with what I don't know, because he's lost an awful lot of ground.
Yes, because you never know. You stand here and look at them, and afterwards you find that the tyres had gone off, or that they'd lost a gear, or that the clutch was slipping. We can't tell looking at them. But as you say, Barry, it would seem that Randy Mamola, there's the gap, you see.
I would say it's an ensemble favourite battle between Eddie Lawson and Wayne Gardner.
Andy McGladdery out of the race. Well, that's bad luck for him. 1 minute 39.5, new lap record at Donington to Wayne Gardner on the V4 Honda, 90.44 miles an hour. And there's the man he is chasing on lap 22, and that's the gap. Wayne Gardner, this tough, determined little Australian from Wollongong, is on the rampage now.
He certainly is trying now, Wayne, because you can see the bike sort of snaking under braking, and I would say it's not going to be long before Wayne is up the front.
Roger Marshall, and now Marshall is into the pits, incidentally the British champion many times over, and we're back again with Roger Burnett as he comes. There's I'll get it right in a minute. Rob McElney in front of him in the red leathers. Rob McElney on the Works Yamaha, pulling away from Roger Burnett on last year's Honda 4. Lap 24, that's the gap, as Lawson, number 1, comes up to take another tail-ender with his front wheel literally pouring the air, and that is not done for bravado or sensationalism. It's done because it is very difficult to control the front wheel. Such is the power of these bikes, 160 brake horsepower. And of course you can loop the loop very easily if you're not very experienced. And they have just lapped Sandro Valesi, the Italian, on his 3-cylinder Honda. And
if it ends up being a sort of the last couple of corners effort, watching Wayne on the brakes is really, really good on the brakes. I know from the days when I was racing, so if Eddie's going to win it, he's going to have to really watch out the last 2 or 3 corners, because Wayne is a star when it comes to sticking it up the inside and getting on to the last minute.
Barring machine trouble, it has got to be one of those 2 men as we look at number 11, Neil Mackenzie, in 5th place on the Honda 4, because Randy Mamola, who had declared his intention to play a waiting game, is obviously in some sort of trouble. He is now 7 seconds behind the battle for the lead, and that is much too much at this stage of the race. So it is between number 1, there he is in his distinctive leathers, Eddie Lawson, and the man from Wollongong, Wayne Gardner. If you were in Wayne's position, when would you be making your charge?
If I was in Wayne's position, I'd sit right where he is now, and I keep sort of fiddling up the inside and up the outside. But you see, maybe he's got more in hand. He's just waiting for the right moment where he can nip past and then go for it for a couple of laps and pull out a lead. It's difficult to say.
And meantime, Eddie Lawson, who has had a bit of a thing about the superior power and performance of the Honda 4 this year, will obviously, despite his experience and maturity, be worried, because literally almost Wayne Gardner's front tyre is rubbing his rear tyre. from Starkey's to McLean's into third gear, accelerating away at about 115 miles an hour, and it does indeed look as though Wayne Gardner, having closed the gap, he was down in 8th position on the first lap, and look at him now.
I would say this is the time where he's going to go for it. He'll get right up Eddie's backside and go for it coming into the chicane here. Now you see Eddie knows he's really close, so it didn't look to me then as if the Honda was any quicker on the top end.
This first British Grand Prix meeting, where all 5 classes have been held on the same day, must be adjudged to have been an enormous success, and thank heavens the weather has contributed. And now, is this going to be the break point? Are both Lawson and Gardner going to be able to get smoothly past these 3 men that they are about to lap?
Well, it's a good place to come up on them because it's coming into the straight, and we're just hoping that they can get close enough. I don't think we get all 3 by the time you get to the chicane.
Lawson might, Gardner won't. Lawson is now.
Go on. Oh.
One down, 2 to go.
Now, the ideal thing for Eddie is if he can leave those other 2 in front of Wayne for the last couple of corners, then it's going to make so much difference to him.
Oh, no, you don't, says Wayne Gardner. I am past.
You have to be so much on the ball at that stage because you can completely blow it if you waste any time getting past.
Wayne passes Hervé Guyot there, number 24, Wolfgang von Buralt, the German rider, and they are both past all 3 as they come through now to start lap 28. 3 laps to go, including the one they've just started. This British Grand Prix is between these 2 men. All eyes are on Eddie Lawson, Yamaha, number 1, world champion. Wayne Gardner, number 2, Honda, who is leading the world championship. Behind them still, Randy Mamola in 3rd place. Christian Saron is still 4th. Neil Mackenzie is in 5th position. De Rodriguez on the Cagiva is 6th. McKelney is 7th. Haslam is 8th. Burnett is 9th. And Tadahiko Taira is in 10th place.
Yeah, it does look as if Eddie is really getting it. Obviously now Eddie would be putting everything into it he's got now, so this is the real telltale lap. You know, it's the time where you think, okay, I've got to go for it now. It's the last couple of laps. Obviously, you put everything you have into it and just hope for the best. You know, you see a black marker in front of you, oh, get out of the way, you know, or just be in the right. He's in the right position now, perfect position to muck Wayne up for the next 2 corners. You know, it's just sheer luck with the black markers.
He's just taken Henny Berman, the Dutch rider, and I think Wayne's going to be all right because he's coming down to Melbourne. He will have the superior performance, and he's got it. And Wayne Gardner is fighting back to get into contention with Eddie Lawson as they come up now to start the penultimate lap. Lap 29 out of 30. 2 to go at the end of this one, and that's soon.
This is where you have to be so careful when you're really struggling that you don't go and make a mistake, because you can howl into a hairpin or into the S's and just leave your brake into the last moment and just leave it too late, run wide, and you've completely blown your chance.
And it rather looks to me now as though Lawson has got enough of a cushion. I can't believe that Gardner has got enough left to be able to catch and get past Lawson in the 2 laps that are left, including the one they're on. Wayne Gardner has still got the lap record, nevertheless, 90.44 miles an hour. But Eddie Lawson may well be breaking it in one of these last 2 laps because he is really charging now. He knows that he's got about 3 miles to go, and that is all. He knows the track like the back of his hand, of course, and his bike.
And don't forget that Wayne Gardner's leading the World Championship, and he's leading from Manila, so he's not going to be too worried about it. Yes, it'd be lovely to win and all that, but the main thing is he wants to finish the race and get the points. So he's doing the sensible thing now. With that kind of gap, if I was Wayne, I'd just sit back and say forget it, which by the looks of it, he has done, which is the right thing to do.
And now, as they come into Melbourne, out of Melbourne on the new loop at Donington, and up to Goddard, it is to start the last and vital 2.51-mile lap at Donington, with the glittering prize of victory in the first 500cc British Grand Prix to have been held at Donington dangling before their eyes. And it looks as though the man it is shining brightest for is number 1, Eddie Lawson. And out goes McKelney. Well, not out. He's obviously overcooked it somewhere or other. But there's his teammates. Eddie Lawson is going to make it 3 wins out of 9 races. He's going to add 15 World Championship points to the 64 he already has. But behind him in 2nd place, Wayne Gardner is going to add 12 to his.
That was bad luck for McKelney. He's had so much bad luck.
Rob McKelney has had a dreadful season. Over the crest at Coppice for the last time comes the quiet and popular, determined American from California, Eddie Lawson, the protege of Kenny Roberts, down to the S's, down to the left for the last time, in 2nd gear, about 80 miles an hour, out of the right, down to Melbourne hairpin. There is the hero, with that angle between the calf and the hip showing again, as Eddie Lawson just lets his right knee kiss the surface of the tarmac. He's got it made. He's into Goddard. He is going to win the British Grand Prix at Donington for the first time in the 500 class. Has been won by Eddie Lawson on his V4 Yamaha, and World Championship leader, 2nd place man, Wayne Gardner. A brilliant and well-deserved win then for the Californian world champion, Eddie Lawson, on his Yamaha. And in 2nd position,